Hey guys, it's Clayton. Today we're talking about deal sourcing strategies. And we're going to cover just some of the main things that people are doing right now, some of the old ones, some of the new ones, and what most banks are really thinking about just from a different standpoint. So let's just jump right in. So what's the most common effective strategy for sourcing a deal? Relationships. Relationships are something that are built over time. They develop trust, which is extremely important whenever you have a really high value transaction. So if somebody's going to spend millions or sell a company for millions, they want to make sure that they trust the person they're doing the job. They want to know that that advisor knows exactly what they're doing, is the right guy for the deal, and if they don't know what they're doing, that they have the tools and capabilities to get all the information they need. Because at the end of the day, there's still people, they work in teams, they're trying to get stuff done. All right, so networking, definitely the biggest one. That's why they are consistently supposed to be going out into the market, getting in touch with people. All right, so what's another way? Market research. Now this is also called thought leadership, but you'll see a lot of banks and a lot of different firms just put together some type of research of this industry in this space, something is happening, here's some trends and analysis. And what they're trying to do is show that they know what is going on, that they're in touch, that they know who the players are in the space and what's, the thing, because they want to be able to speak the same language as their potential clients. The same thing there is that industry analysis is a little bit different than the market research, but whenever you get into the analysis, it might be a little bit more of a deep dive, and it gives them just additional content that they can use in their conversations. So for example, if you're going to a trade show, which is very common for a lot of banks to go to, I'm not a fan of that. Most people go to a trade show to help sell things from their company, not get sold, but that's another story. They'll go there, they'll try and get in touch with as many people as they can and renew relationships as best they can. So what do you do once you've built these relationships? Well, that's where we're trying to take CRMs, we're trying to do lead nurture campaigns, and they're trying to take that technology that has been built out that is used in all these other businesses and employ that in their relationship management. Now, they still do cold outreach. There's a lot of cold outreach that goes on all the time. So it is an effective strategy and it's very consistent. It doesn't have to be brand new stuff to still work. So that's something to keep in mind as you're thinking of your deal sourcing strategies. Now, a lot of times you're going to have proactive and reactive strategies. This is something to think about from the firm level view. So your proactive strategy is, this is our strategy going in. We're going to try and get into this certain niche. This is our plan of attack, and we're going to carry this out no matter what. The reactive approach is whenever something changes in the market, such as a regulation changes or a major competitor announces something like, hey, we purchased a company in this niche and we are identifying this as an area for expansion. And then magically, 4 other companies buy a company in that same niche within the next 2 years. They are being reactive and trying to either maintain their competitive advantage or at least minimize the competitive advantage of that other firm. Reactive approaches might work in the short term, but for a long-term strategy, you're going to employ that proactive approach. And that's really going to keep your firm growing with a lot of leads. So we have relationships, we have networks, we have market research, industry trends, there's trade shows, yay. There's cold outreach. You're really trying to get in touch with decision makers, find out who you need to know, and stay in touch with them. Because they might not sell their company every day. It could be years, right? So what are you going to be talking to about them? What are you going to be talking about to them for years? Something to think about. Most firms struggle in that area, but it's something that is extremely important. You need to have that discussion and plan ahead. And ultimately, here's a cool idea. You could ask them what they'd like to know. It's shocking, I know. It's a weird thought, but you could ask them what they'd like to learn about and then stay in touch. Now, Use technology to make sure you're not letting anybody slip through the cracks, because you want to be able to be that source that they go to, because it's a highly competitive environment. There are tons of banks, there's tons of really smart people, tons of qualified individuals, and they're all competing for the same business. And since there's not that many transactions happening, they're always trying to stay in touch. So you have to make sure that you are doing not just the bare minimum, but you have to be knocking it out of the park or doing an extremely good job compared to everybody else, so that you exist in the correct mental space for the decision makers when it's time for that M&A style transaction. So take some of these strategies, think about it, see how you can use it in your firm. If you need help, let me know. And stay tuned, we'll come across with some more ideas.